What's up, my Omi homies and fellow NFT collectors? Today we're going to talk about making money on the app. Not just on the drops, but also on the marketplace, and I'm going to give you guys my personal strategies and techniques that I use to make money on the drops on most drop days. So we all know that getting drops on VeVe is almost always profitable, and I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel giving you tips and tricks and techniques for getting those drops at drop time, and even for getting rebounds when it's drop day. But you can also make a lot of gems on the marketplace on VeVe, and there's a lot of different strategies that people use to make those gems. So let's get into some of those. A common strategy that people use in the marketplace, especially on days when we don't have drops, is to just go into each NFT, look at the floor prices, and see if there's anything listed way below the floor, or maybe even a low serial number at the floor price, and just scoop those up. And if it's something that's maybe 10 gems under the floor, just relist it back at 1 gem under the floor and take the profit from that. Also, a lot of people like to buy up the floors on certain NFTs. This of course depends on your budget. There was a while there where I would buy up the floors for Fumos and Pepperinos, the Unicornos, and then sell them back at like $49.99. So if people had them listed all the way down to $39, I would just buy all the way up to $50 and list mine one at a time for $49.99. But then again, this of course takes a lot of gems, and it depends on your budget and which NFTs you think have enough demand that you're going to be able to sell them back quickly. Another great way to make gems on the marketplace, which some people probably do exclusively, is just to pay attention to the community and VeVe and what's going on. For example, we know that Frank Kozik just had a tweet yesterday where he's teasing that there's going to be a Christmas Labbits drop, and you can see right away that the prices on the Labbits in the marketplace went up really quickly. I personally, as soon as I saw the tweet, went in and grabbed a Labracorn and a Red Rum Labbit at the floor prices, and then waited about 30 or 45 minutes and then sold them back for profit. And another way to make those extra gems, of course, is sniping the market. To me, sniping means buying something on the marketplace that just got listed, that a bunch of people are trying to buy at the same time, and being the first one to click buy now and getting that good deal. And of course, the best time to snipe the marketplace is when it's most active, and it's most active right after a drop. So we're going to get into my personal strategies, some of the techniques I like to use on drop days to snipe the market and to stack up extra gems to buy the NFTs that I want to hold on to for the long term. So I use a lot of these techniques when it comes to collectible drops after the drop on the marketplace, just as I do on these comic drops, but the comics are the ones I have the best results on, and that's because I'm pretty good at predicting the prices, where the prices are going to land. And the reason for that is because we have so many great resources in the community for these comic drops. The first thing I do when I'm researching a comic drop before it happens is I watch the Comic Way to see what he says about that particular comic. And then I check out Comics and Crypto to see where they ranked it on their list and if they think it's one you should hold on to. And then I go to Sleepyn Comics website, which is VeVeRank.com. It's a new website where he ranks all the comics, and he's a physical comic book collector who knows a lot about them. He has his own YouTube channel as well that's connected with VeVe. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link it in the description. And I always want to see where he ranks it and what notes he puts about the comic before it goes out. And then of course I check Thompson's spreadsheet. But as you probably know, is an OG YouTuber who's had this spreadsheet going since before I even got on VeVe, and he updates it all the time. I like to go into his spreadsheet, which I'm also going to link in the description, and find a comic book that I think ranks around the same as what Sleepyn Comics and Cryptos and Comics say it's going to rank at in the physical world, and has the same edition size. And then I look at those prices for the commons, the uncommons, and so on. And I use those numbers to predict what I think the prices are going to be on the marketplace for the upcoming comic drop. Another thing I do before a new comic drops is I go to Wikipedia and I look that comic book up, and I write down all the important numbers that are associated with the comic. Whether it's the year it was released or the year of a corresponding movie, those are numbers you want to write down and keep in mind, especially when you start sniping the marketplace and you see those serial numbers pop up for floor price. Alright, so one of the main keys to sniping the marketplace after these comic drops is to have a good idea of where the prices are going to land after all of the editions have been delivered. It's been the trend so far that the prices start off high, and as the deliveries come out on these comics, people start undercutting each other and the prices go down. So if you get an early delivery, a lot of people have been listing theirs as soon as the marketplace opens and getting like twice as much as the floor price is the next day for that comic. So once the marketplace reopens after a drop, that's when I get in there and go into the new listings of the common comic is what I focus on personally. Depending on the aesthetics, how good one of the other comic covers looks, maybe the uncommon, the rare, or even the ultra rare. If I have some extra gems, I might try to snipe some of those. But usually I'm going for the common, I'm going for the new listings, I'm looking at the floor price, and I'm trying to snipe low serial numbers at the floor price or near it. And as soon as I snipe one of these 4-digit serial numbers for the floor price, I go directly into selling it back for the profit, maybe 10 or 15 gems, because I know that the floor price can move at any moment. This is right in the middle of when all the additions are being delivered and people are undercutting. So I'm trying to make quick sales to get my profit quickly and snipe the next one. And of course, during that process, there's always the potential of getting a big snipe, a 3-digit serial for around the floor price, of course, something like that. You're going to try to snipe up, but of course, everybody's going for that. So quick reactions, quick reflexes are going to matter as well. You're going to see, I'm going to show you a little bit of me sniping the marketplace after the Amazing Spider-Man number 3 drop. You'll get a better idea of how I'm getting these quick snipes and selling them back quickly just to build up my gems and how they stack up over time, even though it's a small profit each time. Alright, so this is right after the Amazing Spider-Man number 3 drop last week. Like I said, I just go into the listing date of the common, I check the floor price first, and I just start refreshing and looking for those good deals. Of course, every once in a while, you're going to click on one and you're going to have a long load page time. You might as well just back out of that one. If it takes a while for your page to load up, then you know you're not going to get that one. So the first thing I sniped on the Amazing Spider-Man number 3 drop was a 3-digit 515 for $349.99. Judging by what some of the other similar serial numbers were selling for at the time, the market had just opened on these, and I thought maybe I could get an extra 100 gems selling that back. But as you'll see throughout this video, I just lowered the price a little bit every time until it finally sold. And I'm pretty sure we'll have to check, but I think I made a profit on it when it finally did sell. So as you'll see, make the quickest flips with the smaller snipes. When I'm sniping this stuff at 50 and selling it back at like 65, it's a lot easier to get your profits. When I'm buying that 351 and trying to sell it back for 450, it takes a lot longer to sell. Of course, as you'll see, I don't get every one of these snipes. I would say my success rate was probably a little bit under 50%, but I went for the ones on the top 2 or 3 levels. I would get all of those. So let's take a look and see how my gems built up just from sniping on the marketplace. First one was number 9932 for $57.50. You can see here it was about an hour after the drop, so about 30 minutes after the marketplace opened. As soon as I get it, I go straight in to try to sell it back. I listed this one back for 69 gems, and of course you always have to keep in mind that success fee of 8.5% to make sure that you're going to be making a profit every time. And what you want to happen is for things to insta sell as soon as you list it. In most of the cases on this day, as soon as I snipe something and put it back up on the market, it's sold within a minute or two. I did cut out all the misses. I just put in the successes from here. Like I said, it was about 50%, maybe a little less than 50%. And here's 2419 for 65. Of course, those lower serial numbers, even when you're in the 4 digits, you're going to be able to sell them back for more. I put this one back up for 79 gems. It was a 6.71 gem fee. And of course, while I'm doing that, every time I stop, I go back into this 515 and drop the price a little bit. As soon as I did that for this one, the other one had already sold, and I was ready to make my next snipe. So of course, I go back in here, go to the listing date, and start refreshing, looking to see if there's anything at the floor price that's worth picking up. Here we got 3099 for 63 gems. So I'm gonna scoop it up. As soon as I scoop it, I'm gonna try to sell it right back on the marketplace as soon as possible so I can move on to the next snipe. We listed this one up at 79 gems, and it pretty much insta sold. Alright, now I'm up to 89 gems, so I've already made about 25 gems profit, I think. It's been about 10 minutes. 5722 for 55 gems. I snagged that up and put it back for 74. As I was relisting my 515 for 385, the one I just sniped sold, put me up to 102 gems, and I'm on to the next one. This one, I was surprised to get it because it was the 4th one on the list. I usually get my best snipes when I'm getting the top 1 or 2 on the list. This one I picked up, number 1850 for 69.99 gems, basically 70 gems. And because it was such a low serial number, I put it back up for 88. That one also sold right away as soon as I listed it. Then I found 4952 for 60 gems, which is a good deal. Grabbed that and put it back up for 74. Each time I get a snipe, I go back into that 515 and relist it so that it shows back up in those new listings for people who are looking for stuff to pick up, and then it has a better chance of getting sold. I got it all the way down to 375 now. We're up to 120 gems. Let's do it again. The floor price is falling, but you have to keep in mind the floor price when you go back in here. Now we got 5983 for 56 gems. Pick it up and list it back for 72. Since I have enough gems, while I wait for that one to sell, I'm going to go ahead and snipe up another one. 4316 for 63 gems. Looks like that other one sold while I was doing that. Yep. And as soon as I pick that one up, I'm going to put it right back on the market, this time for 77. Now that we're about an hour after the marketplace is open, there's not as many people buying, but I'm still getting the flips. I'm still getting good deals like 8601 at the floor price, 60 gems. As soon as I grab that, I'm going to go ahead and put that one back up for 69. Now once I've got 3 of them, I need to start moving my prices around, trying to lower the prices and get those sold, get my profit so I can get back on the market to snipe again. Starting to run low on gems probably, so I'm just going to relist these and make sure that I'm still trying to get a profit. As you can see, as I lower the price a little bit, they're back on the new listings tab and somebody's going to pick it up. 8601 hasn't sold for me yet, so I relisted it at 70. And at about that time, I think is when 515 sold. Yeah. Next up, we got 9502 for 59 gems. Pick it up, put it back on the market for 67. And I only recorded about 50% of my flips that day, and then afterwards I went back and did a little more flipping about the same thing. Did about as many as I did that was recorded. It's what I do a lot of times after comic drops. As soon as the marketplace opens, you get your best snipes when there's about 90% of the deliveries all the way up to 100% of the deliveries. And like I said, the marketplace is very active at that time. You got buyers looking for stuff in the new listings page. So if you get a good snipe, you want to sell it back as soon as possible because that floor price can drop as people are getting their final deliveries and undercutting each other. So that's it. That's my technique. You can see how the small flips build up really fast and help you build up your gem count. Of course, you have to have really good reaction time. You have to understand the market and know when to make those buys. Know when you're not paying too much and not get stuck with something that you can't sell back for a profit. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Remember, you can still apply these same techniques on collectible drops, except for you have to remember that those collectible drops, those prices are a lot more unpredictable, as we saw with drops like Wonder Woman and the Labricorn. It might be smart when you're just starting out to wait until all of the deliveries from that drop are delivered before you start sniping the marketplace, because the floor price will be more set and won't be moving as much. Thanks everybody for watching. Good luck sniping the marketplace. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.